Hi everyone, I hope everyone's new year is turning out super great and you guys are having so much fun. We will all get in a relationship one day. Eventually it will happen. You know, no one's always alone forever, and I learned that. I feel like I give pretty good love advice, though I've never been in a real relationship before, ever. But here's from me to you of whether he's worth it or not.
So if he's always lying about something, like he's actually doing something he's not supposed to be doing and you don't feel happy about it, then this will always be, it'll be the best thing to get rid of him. Or this, if he's always like telling you like tiny white lies, like, oh, I haven't left my house yet, then that's okay. We all do little white lies. But if it's like a constant big lie, then you better must find out a way to end that or just end his lying. Okay, so here's some mini advice. Make sure you listen to what your friends have to say because what they have to say is really important and they really care about you. And having your friends' input is definitely a lot easier than just to have you overthink it because it's best to have everyone's input. So if your friends have an uncomfortable feeling about this guy, then listen to what they have to say. Alright?
He is always constantly lying about what he's doing or where he's at.
Okay, so this one's a true story of what happened to me. I had this huge crush on a guy. We were texting each other one day, and I told him what I was doing, and he texted me back, and he said that I can't remember what he was doing. I think he was still in school or something, and I'm like, that's weird, but whatever. And so I found out 30 minutes later or so that he was actually on a vacation with like 3 girls or something, and I was like, oh, okay, so much for liking me, right? So pretty much like he always constantly lied about the things that he was doing, and that's something that you don't want to be around with, definitely.
Those tiny white lies are okay, like, oh, I left to my house, but you're actually putting your shoes on and you're not even halfway there. That's alright.
Okay, so guys are usually like fighters, they're like, oh yeah, man, I'm going to break up someone if they touch my girl, type of situation. Well, usually guys get super feisty when like their girl is on. They're like, why aren't you responding? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? And like, if he just argues with you all the time, just like, oh my gosh, I'm so done with this, then you're done with it, right?
There is one good advice that always stuck with me. The guy is the head of the family, or the relationship, the man. But the woman is the neck. And the woman can turn the head any direction she wants it to. See, women usually can control a relationship if they're not comfortable going to the next level or doing something. Okay, this one like pulls my legs so much. This one is that if he ignores or declines your calls. We've all had this before. I've had it happen to me, and it's not the best feeling because you don't feel like you're good enough. You know how like you have a crush on him and he likes you back type of situation. That's how it was like, and so I want to see if he still was wanting to go out and go see Frozen or something. That would be so cute. Anywho, so I called him and he declined my call, and I'm like, I know you're home and I know you're like looking at my number right now. And so I texted him and he didn't reply back, and I'm like, okay, you know what, he doesn't want to talk to me. And later on I asked my friend to see his Facebook page, but it turned out that he was seeing 3 other girls. And so it obviously meant to me that I was
Okay, so this is the other one if he flirts with other girls, and we've seen this happen.
If you're single at the dollar bill like me right now, you know you hate it when you see your crush flirting like, hey baby, or like he flirts with, and he has like, you just get that rage feeling. Okay, so, it's just an awful feeling to see him, flirting with other people. And if you're in a relationship, you hate to see him look at other girls as more special at them than you. Okay, so this one is if he's the subject changer. And maybe people are like, what does it mean to be like a subject changer? Well, this is if you're talking about something really important, like how you don't want to take it to the next level, or you're having some really hard time in your family, and he's like, oh, we'll talk about it later, but he doesn't speak of it ever again. You try talking about it again, he changes the subject. He's like, oh, do you want to go out for dinner or something? And you're like, yeah, and then you try to bring it up again, and he's like, oh, hey, let's go over here. Like, he's completely avoiding the subject no matter what. If you guys really want to be with each other, you guys gotta listen to each other, and that's how the relationship works. Listening and understanding each other, because, you know, if you want to be with someone, you can't be all like, oh, hey, I love you, I'm just not gonna listen to you, because everyone has feelings. Everyone. This one, if he lies about himself. There's two huge differences in a guy saying, oh yeah, man, I'm a varsity football jock. Yeah, I played quarterback in the 8th grade. And that's one thing, many girls don't like it when guys lie just to impress them, because they feel like they've been cheated on in here, and it's honestly not the best feeling before, and we just don't want that, you know. And especially when you find out the real truth, you want to know the truth from the beginning, not into the end. Okay, this one's a really short one. If he always ditches you to hang out with his friends, this happens to me all the time. I always hit up a guy, you know, like, yo, what's up? You know, I don't say yo, what's up, but, you know, like, yeah, hey, are we still hanging out tonight? And he's like, oh, no, I can't. I'm grounded. And then, so you're texting him, for the rest of the night, and, an hour and 30 minutes later, you find out he's at Pizza Hut and eating large pizzas, and then he's ice skating, and then you hear girls screaming in the background. That makes it seem like, oh, I'm not good enough to be with him. I'm not good enough to hang out with him. And that's one thing that makes me, if he's always negative, you know. Several guys are negative. They're like, oh my gosh, well, why does my life suck? Oh, I just want to die right now, or I just don't feel like living right now. If he's always negative about things, or he's negative towards you, then you don't want yourself to feel bad, and you don't want to surround yourself around negativity, because I believe you guys deserve to be the most happiest people in the universe. All of you do, and it's just hard to see someone fall apart just from negativity in one relationship. And that's happened to my friends. Like, they fall apart so much, and then I'm like, hey, you gotta get out of this relationship, you know? He's making you fall apart, and I see you crying all the time, you know? The way people act around you is very important, and it just can't be something like super negative all the time, you know? It can be all like, oh, one disappointment, but that's it, you know? But if he's negative all the time, just stay away from that. You want someone who stays positive with you. This one is for guys that aren't always there for you. Like, they make you feel lonely at heart, and a guy should never make you feel like you're alone at heart, because the heart is, you know, where it contains, you know, emotions and different types of things. And if you feel extremely lonely and if he doesn't complete your happiness, or doesn't complete that fullness of your heart, you know, it doesn't feel like you're full, or like you seem lonely at night and you're like, oh my gosh, I wish I had something more, then you should try to find something better, or try to make the relationship more happy, or try to be with him more. This one is actually really important. Do you know how, like, you date for a couple weeks and you're into this guy for like a couple weeks? You guys don't directly say I love you, but this is for people who have been like already starting to say I love you, and this is like 2 months dating or whatnot. And so pretty much, if he's grave, like, grave means serious, but like, you want to be serious when you tell someone you actually love them, but like, he's grave and he doesn't mean it type of situation, then you very must watch out, because he could be using you as a toy. It could just be a game of lust for you, but it could be a game for him, you know. You could totally be the happiest person in the world, but when you tell him I love you, you know, you're like, I love you, you know, and you mean it. And he'll be like, I love you, you know. He hesitates for a moment, or like he acts so awkward about it. And guys who truly love you don't act awkward. They're like, I love you, you know. They're so direct, and you know they care. And a guy who isn't that serious about that love that you have for him, then just let him go, because it's probably because he's not mature enough to be in a relationship with you. Okay, this one everyone knows. This one I have to add in. If he's a cheater. Like, this one I always just had to add in, you know. Like, if he's always cheating on something, or always cheating, or you feel like he's always gone and he's doing something else he shouldn't be doing, and you're in a relationship, or you guys have a thing going on, it's not worth it if you realize he's going for someone else. Not does it only hurt the one that you cheated on, but it also makes you look like a bad image. If he's just always like putting you down, or always picking on you for things, or blaming you for things, or just not making you feel like you should be and feel like a princess and special, because that's what you're supposed to be, a princess, and you're supposed to be meaningful to him, and you're supposed to be his everything. So if he doesn't make you feel like that, you got so many people to choose from. There are 8 billion people in the world, and someone somewhere out there truly cares about you. And if he's one of those buttholes that just sits there and makes you feel bad about yourself, or barely speaks to you, or does whatever I just listed, don't keep him, you know? God will always, God, stars, skies, wishes, will always bless you in here for a better guy. And I know that. This is the main thing. You feel it in your gut, he is the right one. Or you truly care about him. You don't know, you just feel it. He loves you for who you are. That's the main thing. You don't change for people. You change for your own good. If you want to change, you change. If he tells you to change, you don't do it. It means he wants you to be someone else that you don't want to be. Unless you want to be that person, then change. But if he wants you and you don't want to, and he's trying to make you his dream girl, and he's saying that you're not perfect enough for him, and that's not a good sign. So he has to love you for who you are, no matter what. And even the mistakes you did in the past, he has to forgive you for those, or he just has to be like, I love you for who you are. And that's hard to find nowadays, because most guys are like, I love a girl who has a rack, who has a butt, who has long hair, who's popular, who's a cheerleader, or who's I don't know, whatever. But it's just not worth it, because guys think of that and they want to transform the girls into that, and they don't want that. They should love you for who you are, no matter what. So this one, he does not force you to do things you don't want to do. You know how, like I said earlier, that he isn't a keeper type of things. You know how I said, like, he's the head, but the ladies are the neck, and the neck can turn the head any way she wants to. So that's how it's kind of like, if he's always like, babe, let's take it to the next level, and you're like, no thanks, I don't want to, I'm not ready for that, he has to respect that. And if he does, then he's a keeper. This one is my favorite one. It kind of reminded me of the Rihanna song, Only Girl in the World, but he treats you like you're the only girl in the world, literally. Like, no matter what, he just stares at you, he treats you correctly, he's just a gentleman. There's a difference in between a boy, like a teenage boy, and a gentleman, okay? I have guy friends that are such sweet gentlemen, and they definitely respect others. Other people, other girls, other guys, you know, they respect everyone for who they are, and they accept you for who they are. So if he treats you like you're the only person he loves, so this one is that he loves you and he means it. So the last one was like, he doesn't love you, and he says it so gravely, and he's like, oh, I don't love you. Now this one, he's like, I love you, and he like, it literally becomes Shakespeare or Dakota Wint at this point, and he's like listing out those words of love, and he actually means it, and you can totally feel it in your gut. This is my other favorite one. He does not make you jealous, and we all understand what that means. He does not make you jealous in general, like over girls or money or anything. He just makes you feel special. It means so much to me. He listens to you. He will stand and stick by your side no matter what. There could be World War III and nuclear bombs going off. He will stick.
Alright guys, that is it. I will definitely upload some more, and so that'll be pretty much it for today. Okay, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.